Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for this introduction. At this press conference, we will be discussing the issue of 100 resilient cities. The city of Paynesville, as you have in front of you, the press conference was selected as one of the 100 resilient cities in the world. That was announced in Nairobi City on the 25th of May. And we have cross-examinations with the Mayor of Paynesville on that. Also, we'll be talking about the city of partnership with the city of Kampala in Uganda. The city of Paynesville have established a partnership of which the mayor met with the city executive director. We'll talk about that. And lastly, we'll talk about the Eminent Women of Uganda hosting a luncheon in honor of the mayor of Paynesville for an achievement she's made in the city of Paynesville. So I will go over to the mayor, and from there we'll go into a full cross-section.
Good morning. I'd like to say thank you all for coming this morning. The City of Paynesville is elated to have this press conference. Considering our tenure of 4 years of being in government, we've made huge strides when it comes to this 100 Resilient City Challenge. Today we're opportune to have a City Resilient Officer, a Chief Resilient Officer come on board that works with the city government that deals with all of the shocks, the acute shocks that the city could face in the present time and in the future. 100 Resilient Cities in collaboration with Rockefeller Foundation is going to employ this person. The announcement will be made for employment through our local papers, also through international papers as well, so that we can get this person within the employ. Once this person comes on board, they're going to be dealing with a lot of issues when it comes to city government. They're going to work also along with all silos of government, agencies that exist, and also within communities. So we can find out what are the issues within the city government, how can we prevent acute shocks from taking place in the city, and even if we cannot prevent the acute shocks from taking place in the city, how can we diminish the impact that it has on the residents in the city when it occurs. I'd just like to say that we're just very happy about this, and another thing that occurred whilst we were in Nairobi was we received confirmation that we are going to get our 10-year strategic plan for the city government, and that means that we have moved forward a great deal, considering that we're going to have a master plan for the municipality for 10 years. That means that we're also going to be tapping into our communities again to find out where is it that our residents see the city, where would they like to see the city going, and how we can make sure that we move forward with that plan. One of the things that I mentioned in my speech whilst I was in Nairobi was the fact that one of our most recent acute shocks was Ebola. As you all know, that there were economic downtrodden when it came to that. And then also our health infrastructure was completely shattered. So those are things that we're looking at when it comes to building resiliency in the city. But then we also have issues in our city, which I mentioned as well. The rainfall, constant rainfall and flooding in the municipality, infrastructure failure, and civil unrest. Those are our three major shocks as well in the city. So I would like to say we're happy that we're going to get our CRO on board. We're happy to be on board with 100 Resilient Cities. And we're just honored to have the opportunity. This is the first time in the Republic of Liberia that we're, one, we have a city that's coming up with this strategic plan, a master plan for 10 years. And two, to be accepted in a partnership or a network of over 100 cities. Whereas we have 10,000 cities in the world, 375 applied for this grant, and only 37 of us were accepted in the third phase. So we're grateful, we're honored, and we're just glad to have the city of Paynesville on the map. I'm open for any questions. Thank you.
Mayor, 100 cities that have been selected. What is it? What are you going to do, especially will it affect the life of the residents of your city, the municipality of Paynesville?
Well, absolutely. I mean, first, I would like to say that we're in the infancy stage right now when it comes to this CRO. While I was in Nairobi, the mayor of Nairobi, the governor said, it's like we've been conceived now, and now we're going through the 9 months process, and then before we're birthed. then we'll learn how to do all the other things. That's what we're doing right now. This is going to impact the lives of our citizens because this is the opportunity for us to deal with all the stressors that we have in the city. Prime example, I said flooding. Flooding is one of our major issues in the city of Paynesville. Why? Because we have lots of swamplands. We've had residents that have gone in and they've built within the right of way, they've built inside the swamps, they've done different things that are adverse to the environment. But once it impacts the environment, it impacts our lives. So we now have to come up with something strategic on how we're able to deal with that issue. Either one, how to prevent our residents from going in and building in the swamp, or putting measures in place through our Environmental Health and Protection Department to see how are they able to build in the swamp and it doesn't adversely affect the swamp. The benefit is that we have access to a network of 100 cities that have gone through acute shocks that are similar to us. So what we do now is we tap into these 100 cities, their knowledge, and do transfer of knowledge. Find out what can we do to prevent this from taking place. And they have their CROs that come over to Liberia as well to see how they can learn from us. So this is a complete transfer of knowledge and also access to resources. The third phase of this grant is $164 million. So this is amazing for our city that you have 100 other cities around the world that actually have access to this funding, including Liberia, where we're able to build up on it.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Alas Jackson. For clarity's sake, the 10-year plan you talked about, is it from the GOL or accepted by the Rockefeller Foundation? And the second question is, this 164 million you talked about, how much is going to come to the City of Paynesville?
Okay, I'll go backwards. The 164 million has not been determined yet, how much is coming to the City of Paynesville. But once we find out, we'll definitely make that public. As you all know, we run a transparent and accountable government here. When it comes to the 10-year strategic plan, another one of our partners is working with us through 100 Resilient Cities. This is where we talk about this network that we were going into. You have access to so many things. This was something that we had discussed with one of our partners before. They're partnering with us now on another project with the city of Monrovia and other cities. But we've gotten approval because of becoming a partner with the 100 Resilient Cities. So I will not call the organization name yet, but once they come on board, again, we'll have another press conference and you all will be duly informed. And it's not with the government of Liberia, it's with the city of Paynesville. One of the things that Her Excellency has worked on is decentralization. And this is one of the key things when it comes to decentralization. The only way our municipalities are going to be successful is if we concentrate on the people that actually reside within the municipality and those who have businesses there. So it's important from our perspective that we garner the interest and where we see where our residents want to go with the municipality as opposed to central government. Central government, conversations will take place, but the concentration now is on the city government.
What specific places in the 10-year document that broke the eye or the cameras back to say, well, this is what we're looking for, the Paynesville City can now be part of us?
I don't understand what you're asking.
I'm asking if in the 10-year plan, what specific areas that are there that the people saw and said, oh yeah, this is what we're looking for, the Paynesville City can now be joining us?
Oh no, the 10-year plan is something that's necessary we found it necessary because city governments have the tendency to work in an ad hoc manner. Meaning, if we have flooding in Jacobtown, that means that everything that we're doing for that day, a specific department is now going to dedicate their time towards the flooding in Jacobtown. No, what you do is we don't need to work in an ad hoc way. We need to work in a way where we have preventive measures put into place that we're able to operate with a master plan, not just spontaneously dealing with emergencies that we could have prevented earlier.
We'll take 2 more questions on 100 Resilient Cities, and then we'll move to the other topics. Yes, from here.
My name is Alvani.
Well, the first thing we have to do is sit with CRO and look at what the shocks are in the city. There has to be a full assessment done. And that's what's done for, I would say, probably the first 6 months, an assessment. Once the assessment is completed and we realize what the issues are, then we start dealing with those issues. As I said, one of the primary issues that we have right now in the city, actually there are 2 of them. As I continue to go back to the way we're hit by Ebola, our healthcare. Our healthcare, we're in very bad shape. We're still in bad shape. If you look around the city of Paynesville, yes, we have medical facilities that are accessible to us, but are they up to standard? It's questionable. you start looking at other things as well, such as, like I keep on going back to flooding. When you're rainy season, come to rain right now, you're sitting down here. There are communities that are going to get flooded. There are people that are not going to have access to their homes. There are people that will have to sleep on top of their roofs. We have to deal with that. So that's just 2 out of how many more? Once we do the assessment, how many more are we going to have? Before we start talking about lack of infrastructure, before we start talking about potential civil unrest.
Okay, Trevor?
Yeah, my name is Faman Kamal. I report for Truth on BLTV. My question has to do with, after being included in the entire program, have you been able to identify the kind of program you intend to carry out, like the issue of flooding? It's just one of the series of outbreaks that whereby we have fire and other issues, and there's going to be more like community-based. How do you intend to engage the communities to ensure that your idea or perhaps the program is successful?
Well, one of the things that we've always done during my administration is to make sure that we have an inclusive government, which means that we work with our community leadership, our block leaders. So for me, having them at the table is mandatory. There's no other way for us to move forward with anything that we do in the city once we don't have the residents garner any sort of concept or project that we're doing. So what I would say at this point is that I look forward to their continued cooperation, and we look forward to working with them.
Alaska, we don't even have the last question for this, and then we move on to the other two issues.
Yeah, Mayor, the CRO is going to be a librarian, and how soon are we going to see that person on board?
Yes, the CRO is going to be a librarian. I would say within the next 60 days, we're going to put the announcement out, and we're going to wait for applicants to come in. It's going to be open to librarians locally and open to librarians in the diaspora. So we're really excited about this. I mean, you all will see a huge impact and a huge difference in the way the city operates and how we respond to things that take place.
Okay, next we move on to the mayor's visit to Kampala. If you have any questions on that, please put for your questions.
Mayor, your engagement with the women of Kampala, what was it? I mean, what did you tell them about you?
In Kampala, I was opportune to meet the executive director. Her name is Jennifer Musi, and she's more of the city manager of the City of Kampala. We sat down, we had some conversations. When I have these conversations with cities that are far more advanced than us, I always want to find out, how do they make things happen? How do they keep their city clean? Even though, in the City of Paynesville, we struggle to do those things, but because across the globe, we all have the same issues. Waste and sanitation is our issue. Urbanization is our issue. Access to clean water is our issue. It's a global issue. Youth unemployment is a global issue. So those are the kind of conversations that I had with Jennifer during my visit. I also asked her about the structure of her city government as well. And the City of Kampala runs a very, very progressive, aggressive city governments. They've made strides that one would not even believe that they've had the capacity to do within the time that they've been there. And again, this all goes back to decentralization. After the conversation took place, we realized that it is because the City of Kampala is decentralized, that's why their success story is something that everyone raves about. So I was just pleased to sit in her office and have that conversation, and we're just happy that we're able to establish, I wouldn't say a sister city relationship, but some form of cooperation with the City of Kampala. I also spoke about the fact that some of the employees of the city government needed to have capacity built in different areas, and she offered for us to have transfer of knowledge so that we have some of our employees go over to Kampala and learn different things that we need for the city government of Paynesville. So we're just excited. The time couldn't be any better for us to have the opportunities that we have today. We're just happy about it.
We'll take one from Foundation and we Foundation.
Yeah, my name is Alvan. Your visit, do we expect to see something new at PCC from the visit? And the next question is, I heard that you were honored, how do you feel that you were honored outside Liberia? I think it should have been done here. How do you feel outside?
The honoring program was a luncheon that I had with the Eminent Women of Uganda. That was amazing. Unfortunately, Jennifer could not attend that program, but that was an amazing opportunity to be honored by women from completely different stratas and women that have done so much in Uganda. I mean, I'm talking everything from judges to civil rights movers to academias. I mean, the list goes on. You know, me being honored in Liberia, I feel that I'm honored. There are times when I'm often honored by, you know, people, our civil society here, or, you know, non-governmental organizations, or, you know, it's not a big deal that I wasn't honored in Liberia at that time. I've been honored here before. But it was just a privy to be honored in Uganda. It wasn't something that I anticipated. And I'm just happy that we are on the map. That's what makes me happy, is that Liberia is on the map and that we're making strides in the right direction.
Willie?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, my name is Simona, and I'm coming from the Heritage newspaper. Since you took over at the helm of the GCC, there has been massive progress in the city. Though there remain some challenges, what is the secret to achieving all of this progress in the city in such a short time?
I think, you know, you have to be passionate about what you do. It's necessary. If you're not passionate about what you do, I don't think that you're going to be successful in what you're doing. And beyond you having passion, you also have to have a team that's committed in the same way that you are. One that understands that we're going to run a transparent and accountable government. One that knows that the leadership of the city government is dedicated to the cause of the people. And most importantly, the purpose of us working on a daily basis is because we want to impact the lives of our citizens. For me, that's very important. I feel that what we do is we continue to run a humble administration. And that's really my position. I mean, if we didn't have, you know, 400,000 residents in the city of Paynesville, we would not have work. I mean, that's all it boils down to. So, you know, we're glad, we're opportune to be here and to have the capacity to serve our people in the way in which they should be served.
Do we have any further questions? Because we have only 2 minutes to close this press conference. Okay.
Can I go back to honors to the president? Mayor, please. The 164 million, is it for a year or a 10-year period?
No. The 10-year is a completely different project. The 10-year is, we haven't even found out what the cost will be, but that's something that's going to be done by another partner. The 164 million, it depends. It depends on the time frame. It really does. They haven't given us a time frame. We know it's anywhere between 2 to 5 years for this project, yes, 2 to 5 years. And any funds for the city government, we've requested that it goes through the PFMU to make sure that, you know, that we also get other people on board. You know, we're currently building ourselves up right now. We want to make sure that we get additional partners to come on board. And we feel that once is managed by PFMU, that it will show a whole other level of transparency and accountability when it comes to the city government.
Do we expect any visitation of those that we're coming from to come to Liberia?
Yes.
To have an engagement with you?
Absolutely. 100 resilient cities, Mr. Michael Berkowitz and his team should be coming to Liberia within the next 60 days because we have to do a formal announcement here, meaning that that's when we'll have the communities come in, conversations will take place. At that time, the CRO will be on board, and then we'll move forward from there. Also, when it comes to the City of Kampala, Jennifer has expressed her interest to visit the City of Paynesville and see how we're able to partner to move the city further. And also, when it comes to the governor of Nairobi, there were conversations that took place as well, where there could be potential visits from the city county of Nairobi. So we look forward to it. I'm sure you all will see much more activity in the city than we have in the past when it comes to guests.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. On behalf of the city, we say thank you for covering this press engagement, Maria. Thank you very much.
So, thank you.